cataract surgery is the most performed surgery on the entire planet. More than heart surgery, which is one of the most common medical interventions. More than hip replacements and other standard orthopedic procedures. More than any other procedure surgeons perform. Over 25 million operations every year. And that number is not slowing down. But here is what that statistic is not telling you. It is not telling you about the 20 years before that surgery. The 2 silent decades where the proteins inside your eye lens are slowly breaking down, clumping, scattering incoming light instead of focusing it, and you feel almost nothing, until one day you do. The foggy film when you first open your eyes in the morning, the halos spreading around headlights when you drive at night, the way menus in dim restaurants now require an extra few seconds of squinting that you have quietly started accepting as normal. Those are not small inconveniences. Those are signals coming from inside your lens, a structure with no blood supply, no repair system, and proteins that were built before you were born. Your body made those proteins once, in the womb. It will never produce them again. They have to last your entire life. And right now, in grocery stores across this country, there is a seed, an ordinary seed, an inexpensive seed, one that contains the exact compound your lens proteins have been running low on for years. Your eye doctor will schedule the surgery when the damage is done. What almost never comes up is what could have pushed that timeline back by a decade. That is what this video is about. Before we get to the seed, you need to understand something first. If your vision has been quietly declining for the past several years, that is not a personal failure, that is not laziness. That is not something you caused by not trying hard enough. For decades, the standard guidance was simple. Eat your carrots, take a multivitamin, show up for your annual eye exam. Nobody connected the microscopic biology happening inside your lens to the specific nutrients that biology depends on to survive. And when symptoms appeared, the standard response was equally simple. Lubricating drops for the dryness, reading glasses for the blur, and eventually, when the cloudiness became dense enough to interfere with daily life, surgery. Every single one of those responses treats what is visible at the surface. None of them address what is happening at the molecular level inside your lens. For the 20 years leading up to that point, here is the biology your doctor does not have time to explain. During a 12-minute appointment, your eye lens contains no blood vessels, not reduced blood flow, none. It is completely isolated from your circulatory system. No fresh oxygen coming in, no nutrients being delivered, no repair mechanism of any kind. Your lens runs entirely on its own internal chemistry. And the compound at the center of that chemistry is called glutathione, a master antioxidant that, in a young healthy lens, exists at some of the highest concentrations found anywhere in the human body. As long as glutathione levels stay high, your lens proteins remain clean, separated, transparent. Light passes straight through and your vision stays sharp. But here is what research published in Experimental Eye Research confirmed, and what almost no one outside of ophthalmology research is talking about. Starting in your 50s, a physical barrier begins forming around the nucleus of your lens, the core, and that barrier progressively cuts off glutathione supply to the exact location, where the most damaging cataracts develop first. Your lens core begins losing its primary line of defense. While you still feel completely fine, while you have no symptoms whatsoever, without that antioxidant shield in place, your lens proteins begin to break down. They unfold, they aggregate, they scatter incoming light instead of focusing it cleanly onto your retina. Your eye doctor looks at the scan and says this is age-related progression, and they are right about the process. What the appointment rarely includes is the conversation about the dietary compounds that directly influence how fast that process moves. That is the conversation we are having right now. There are 6 seeds. I have ranked all of them, from least effective up to the one that outperformed every other option across every category I examined. We are starting at number 6 and working our way up. And I need to warn you about number 4 right now. The way most people are consuming it, their body is absorbing almost nothing from it. Stay with me. Number 6, sesame seeds. Let's take a look. Most people already know sesame seeds exist. Very few people know what is actually inside them, or why the standard way of eating them is quietly undermining the benefit. Sesame seeds contain zinc. Your retina depends on zinc to activate the enzymes that protect your photoreceptors and to pull vitamin A from your liver into your eye tissue, where it can actually be used. They also contain copper, vitamin E, and a range of real documented eye-supporting compounds. But here is the major problem with these seeds. Sesame seeds are loaded with phytic acid, and phytic acid does one specific thing inside your digestive system. It binds minerals, zinc, copper, everything valuable inside these seeds before your gut wall has any opportunity to absorb them. You chew, you swallow, and a significant portion of those minerals exits your body without ever entering your bloodstream. The fix requires 3 minutes and costs nothing. Dry roast them in a pan over medium heat until you notice the warm, nutty aroma rising. That heat degrades the phytic acid and unlocks the mineral content inside. A small handful of toasted sesame seeds on a salad or on eggs makes a genuine difference at roughly $2 a month. But I want to be straightforward with you. Sesame seeds are a foundation. They help prevent you from losing ground faster. They are not reversing anything on their own. The seeds higher on this list operate in an entirely different category. Number 5, pumpkin seeds. This one is going to frustrate people who have been eating pumpkin seeds out of a bag for years, believing they were doing something meaningful for their eyes. Pumpkin seeds contain 2 compounds that research has directly linked to one specific and critical part of your eye, not the whole eye, one part, the macula, the very center of your visual field, the region that handles reading, faces, driving, and anything you look at directly, the region that deteriorates first. Those compounds are lutein and zeaxanthin. Your macula is physically yellow because of them. Your eye is architecturally designed to concentrate these 2 carotenoids in that exact location. Decades of research, including the landmark age-related eye disease study 2, linked higher dietary intake of lutein and zeaxanthin to significantly reduced progression of macular degeneration. Pumpkin seeds also carry more zinc per ounce than almost any other seed available at a standard grocery store. Here is what is going to bother you. Pumpkin seeds carry even higher levels of phytic acid than sesame seeds, and dry roasting alone is not sufficient to break it down completely. If you have been eating them straight from the bag, roasted, salted, raw, any version, you have been absorbing a fraction of what is actually inside them. The preparation is almost frustratingly simple. The night before, place your pumpkin seeds in a bowl of water and squeeze in the juice of half a lemon. Stir and leave them for 8 hours. The citric acid chemically degrades the phytic acid coating. In the morning, drain them, rinse them, and eat them as they are, or dry them briefly in a low oven. That one step changes what your body actually receives from these seeds. Number 4, hemp seeds. While most of the conversation in nutrition circles focuses on flax versus chia, hemp seeds are sitting on the shelf, delivering something no other seed on this list can provide on its own. Your retina is neural tissue, the same cellular architecture as your brain, the same vulnerabilities, and those cells are acutely sensitive to chronic low-grade inflammation. When inflammation reaches your retinal layers, cell membranes weaken, signal transmission slows, and your vision begins degrading in ways that no standard eye chart detects until the damage is already established and real. The single most important nutritional variable controlling that inflammatory environment is the ratio between omega-6 and omega-3 fatty acids in your diet. The average modern diet runs that ratio somewhere between 15 and 20 to 1. Overwhelmingly omega-6 dominant, researchers believe the human body is designed to function closest to a ratio of 3 or 4 to 1. That gap between where most people are and where the body runs best creates a persistent low-grade inflammatory state throughout every tissue in the body, including the retinal tissue inside your eyes, every single day. Hemp seeds have a naturally occurring omega-6 to omega-3 ratio of approximately 3 to 1. No other common seed available at a standard grocery store comes that close to the optimal range. A meta-analysis published in the journal Cornea across more than 3,000 patients confirmed that correcting this fatty acid imbalance produces measurable reductions in the inflammatory markers, the chronic burning, the persistent dryness, the gritty irritation that builds as the day goes on, and that most people have simply accepted as a permanent feature of getting older. 2 tablespoons on yogurt, in a smoothie, on a salad. 0 preparation required, no soaking, no grinding, no timing. Number 3, freshly ground chia seeds. I told you at the beginning to stay with me on this one. Here is why. Chia seeds are one of the richest plant sources of ALA, alpha-linolenic acid, the plant-based omega-3 that your body converts into DHA. And DHA is not simply beneficial for your retina, it is structurally incorporated into it. The photoreceptor cell membranes that your vision physically depends on are built in significant part from DHA. When DHA is chronically undersupplied over years, that cellular architecture quietly erodes. The structural integrity of your retinal layers weakens in ways that produce no dramatic symptoms until the degradation is already advanced. A meta-analysis published in Nutrients, examining data across multiple randomized trials, confirmed that omega-3 intake measurably improves tear film breakup time, the clinical measurement of how rapidly your eye surface dries out between blinks. When that number is low, every blink feels incomplete. That is the burning sensation. That is the grittiness. That is the persistent feeling of something in your eye that never fully clears regardless of how many drops you use. Now here is the critical issue with how most people are consuming chia seeds, and why millions of people are getting almost nothing from them. If you eat chia seeds whole, sprinkled into a smoothie, stirred into oatmeal, consumed as a gel, the outer shell of each seed resists your digestive enzymes. The seeds pass through your system largely intact. You are consuming the exterior packaging. The contents remain locked inside. You have to grind them. 10 seconds in a coffee grinder, right before you eat them. Not the previous evening, not from a pre-ground bag sitting in your pantry. The moment a chia seed is cracked open and the interior is exposed to air, those omega-3 fatty acids begin oxidizing. A pre-ground bag that has been sitting on a shelf or in your cabinet may have lost the majority of its potency before you ever opened it. Grind them yourself that morning immediately before eating, and pair them with dietary fat in the same meal. DHA is fat-soluble. Without a fat source present, absorption drops significantly. A drizzle of olive oil, half an avocado, a tablespoon of coconut oil in a smoothie, any quality fat, same meal, same time. Most people who do this correctly report that morning eye dryness actually noticeably decreases within the first 1 to 2 weeks. The structural retinal benefit operates on a longer timeline, 60 to 90 days of consistent daily intake, but the surface relief itself often arrives, much faster than people expect. Number 2, freshly ground flaxseed with avocado. If chia seed is the most widely consumed omega-3 seed in the country right now, flaxseed is the most underestimated. Flaxseed contains more alpha-linolenic acid per gram than any other plant source on Earth. More than chia, more than hemp, more than anything else on this entire list. 1 tablespoon of freshly ground flax delivers approximately 2,300 milligrams of plant omega-3. The same volume of ground chia delivers roughly 1,700 milligrams. That difference is not trivial. And when you are eating one of these every single morning, that gap compounds over weeks and months into a substantially different level of intake. The Women's Health Study, one of the most extensive long-term nutrition studies ever conducted, following nearly 40,000 women over multiple years, found that higher dietary omega-3 intake was significantly associated with reduced risk of dry eye syndrome. Flaxseed is the most concentrated way to reach that intake level from food alone. Now, the avocado paired with this is not a preference or a suggestion. It is a functional requirement. Omega-3 fatty acids are fat-soluble. Without dietary fat present in the same meal, your intestinal wall cannot absorb them efficiently. A meaningful portion passes through unused. The monounsaturated oleic acid in avocado has been specifically identified in nutritional bioavailability research as one of the most effective fat vehicles for improving absorption of fat-soluble compounds. It is not simply a carrier. It is the optimal carrier for this specific class of nutrient. The same 2 rules that apply to chia apply here, and neither one is negotiable. Grind it fresh that morning. Not the night before, not from a pre-ground bag. 2 tablespoons in a coffee grinder, 10 seconds, immediately before you eat. Then eat it within 15 minutes. The moment that seed is cracked open, oxidation begins. The clock does not pause. 2 tablespoons of freshly ground flax on half a ripe avocado. Every morning it appears on your schedule. The only reason this sits at number 2 and not number 1 is a single biological mechanism that the top combination can sustain, and nothing else on this list can replicate. That is what comes next. Score 9 out of 10. Before I give you number 1, I want to be clear about something. Every seed on this list is genuinely useful. The pumpkin seeds protect your macula. The hemp seeds correct the inflammatory environment your retinal tissue lives in every day. The chia and flax deliver the omega-3 foundation your photoreceptor membranes are built from. But none of them can do what number 1 does. And what number 1 does comes down to a single mechanism, a biological loop, that keeps working inside your lens long after a single serving, not for minutes, for hours. Number 1 is raw unsalted sunflower seeds, eaten together with a quarter of a ripe avocado and the juice of half a fresh lemon. All 3 components, same plate, same meal, every morning. Here is why this specific combination sits above everything else on this list. Sunflower seeds carry more vitamin E per ounce than almost any food available at a standard grocery store. One small handful delivers close to 50% of your recommended daily intake of alpha-tocopherol. That is the specific form of vitamin E your body absorbs and deploys first, before any other form. And vitamin E does not work generically inside your body. Inside your eye, it works with precision. It embeds itself directly into the membranes of your lens fiber cells. The very cells that house the proteins made before you were born. The proteins your body produced once, in the womb, and will never produce again. Vitamin E positions itself between those proteins and the oxidative damage accumulating around them. It intercepts free radicals before they reach the protein structure. It sits there as a dedicated barrier. A meta-analysis published in Public Health Nutrition, pooling data from multiple large cohort studies, found that dietary vitamin E intake was significantly associated with reduced risk of age-related cataract formation. The protective association was strongest specifically at the lens nucleus, the core, the exact location where the glutathione barrier forms in your 50s and where the most damaging cataract development originates. This is not a coincidence. It is a direct biological response. It is a direct response to a nutritional input. Now the avocado. Vitamin E is fat-soluble. Without dietary fat, vitamin E passes through your tract. Your body cannot absorb it without fat present. The monounsaturated oleic acid in avocado is the key. It is the most effective fat source for absorption. It does not just accompany vitamin E, it unlocks it. Without avocado, you leave most benefit on the table. And now the lemon. This mechanism is truly remarkable. Vitamin E intercepts a free radical inside your lens. The vitamin E molecule becomes oxidized and spent. It sacrifices itself to protect your lens protein. Under normal circumstances, that molecule is now finished. Vitamin C changes that mechanism entirely. Ascorbic acid is the active form in lemon juice. It reduces the spent vitamin E back to active. It regenerates the capacity that was already there. It intercepts damage repeatedly for hours after one meal. You are assembling a self-sustaining protective loop. Sunflower seeds, ripe avocado, half a fresh lemon. Together, same plate, same time, every single morning. Only one ingredient should be listed on your label. If there are extra ingredients, find a cleaner source. Addressing your lens in a way no drop ever has. Here's everything consolidated into a single daily protocol. Simple, affordable, built entirely around what the research actually supports. Every morning, without exception. 1 ounce of raw unsalted sunflower seeds, 1/4 of a ripe avocado. The juice of half a fresh lemon squeezed directly over everything. Eat all 3 together. This is your foundation. This does not move. On that same morning, add your omega layer. 2 tablespoons of hemp seeds on yogurt or blend it into a smoothie. Zero preparation, zero excuses. Or, if you want the higher omega-3 concentration, 2 tablespoons of freshly ground chia seeds, paired with a fat source in the same meal. Ground that morning. Eaten within 15 minutes. Choose one and stay consistent. 3 to 4 mornings per week, add your deep layer. 2 tablespoons of freshly ground flaxseed. On the other half of that, avocado. Same rules, ground fresh, eaten immediately. Once a week, your macular layer. A small handful of pumpkin seeds soaked the night before, in water with lemon juice. Drained and rinsed in the morning, on yogurt, on a salad, however you prefer. Now, a brief note on what to expect. In the first few days, some people notice slightly darker urine as their body processes elevated carotenoid and B vitamin intake. This is normal. It is temporary. It is not a reason to stop. If you are currently taking blood-thinning medication, speak with your physician before significantly increasing your omega-3 intake. These seeds support your biology. They work alongside your medical care, not instead of it. Here is what I want you to do. Before you close this video, write down 3 specific vision complaints you are dealing with right now. The exact things bothering you most. Rate each one on a scale of 0 to 10. Put that paper somewhere you will find it in 30 days. A drawer, a journal, a photograph on your phone. Then come back in 30 days and rate them again. Your vision did not decline in a week. It will not rebuild in a week. The dry eye relief tends to come within the first several days for most people. The structural lens work, the deeper protection, takes 60 to 90 days of consistent intake before it accumulates to a level your biology can use. But the proteins inside your lens are not waiting for a prescription. They are waiting for raw materials. Everything on this list is at your grocery store right now. It costs less than $1 a day. Start tomorrow morning.